Hey guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. I'm here today to bring the review for My Hero Academia episode 32. Now, some of you may not know this, but if you watched the preview for last episode, or you've got a good friend on your side, you would know that this episode was anime only, or the more offensive term, filler. But for some, when they hear the word filler or anime only, red flags go up straight away. And I'm kind of one of those guys, but I actually like this episode. So if you had the red flag for this episode and you haven't watched it yet, and you're for some reason watching the review before you watch the episode, I say go watch it because it was a good episode. And if I wasn't a manga reader, if I didn't see the preview for this episode within the last episode, I'd have been none the wiser. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I'd have been none the wiser. I would have probably, and this is me like not knowing anything. If I didn't know anything, I'd have probably thought that this episode was just like a calm or a break before we hype things back up again. So the reason why I like this episode is because you see what everybody, not everybody, but a few people, how their internships are going. You get to see them working on weaknesses and just see them how their mindset of what a hero is change and them learning from the internship. So it was a good episode. It was a good episode. I really think it was a good episode. So we had the Baku bit of that at first, and I thought that was funny. It's very, very funny, especially when he's talking to the kids, trying to get them to calm down, and like he was just making them cry. Found a bit funny, but when you do that bit is really Gene Bestis, whatever that hero guy's name is. He's trying to work on Baku's weakness, and Baku's weakness is essentially his personality. He's a strong guy. He's on the right track to be a strong hero, and he probably will get there eventually. But his attitude is his main problem. So we have um Gene Bestis or Bestis Gene, whatever his name was. He's trying to work on his weakness. After that, we see Uravity and her in her internship, and she's working on her weakness as well. And this is the reason why I like this episode, because we see heroes working on the weaknesses. If they're not working on the weaknesses, it's just seeing them become heroes. How the mindset of what a hero is changing. So that's why I like this episode. But with Uravity, she's working on her weakness, and her weakness, well, at least what I think her weakness is that she's not really combat savvy when it comes to fights, especially this one-on-one. She doesn't really know what to do in them, and we see her in this episode learning what to do if she's approached by a villain. Not have to be a villain, just someone approaching her with a knife. We see her get shown what to do. We don't see her attempt it for herself, but you get me, she's learning, and I liked that a lot. We do see the Croatian girl and the Jack hero as well, and I don't really see, and also Red Riot. We see these guys as well, and we see them during the internships, and I can't really think of how the internships are benefiting them. If you can see something that I'm not, please do share it in the comment section. But for now, those three bits of the episode was just really trying to just fill out the episode for me personally. Like I said, if you can see something that I'm not, please let me know in the comment section. The rest of the episode was on Floppy, and with her it was mainly of her in her internship. She's not really, I'm not gonna say she's not enjoying it, but like she's getting bored because what she's doing is like chores and not hero stuff. For that reason, she's getting bored. But as the episode goes on, as we get into the incident that happens with it, that happens within the episode, we see Floppy is slowly changing her views of what a hero is, for like, because you may have certain views of what a hero is when you're a kid, when you're watching them on TV, when you're watching them live in action, blah 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 blah. But when you actually become a hero, it might mean more to you or it might mean less to you. And this is what we're seeing within this episode, at least starting to see within this episode with Floppy. And I'm not gonna say like her views are totally changing, but maybe becoming a hero means more to her now than it did before when she's a child. And the reason why I mentioned them as for a child is because we had that bit with the psychic where she was mentioning that whole thing where when she was a child, she thought differently, and now she thinks not completely differently, but she's got a different viewpoint now. So that's what I think that is happening within Floppy within this episode. And yeah, I can say small things. The the like the hero she's working under, he's somewhat funny doing all the cutesy stuff. He's got an interesting quirk similar to Floppy's, but just different animal. And one thing, and it's just like a little little tiny, just like problem is that yes, I know it makes sense for the hero to be sea based and have a sea based quirk, but I don't really understand why the villain had to have a sea based quirk as well. Obviously, he was all octopused out. So that was my only problem. This is just a small minor problem. But like I was saying at the very beginning of this, it was a good episode. If you didn't, if you wasn't told it was for Naruto, I guarantee you probably wouldn't figure it out. Aida, Deku, and Shoto were also within this episode as well. We see Deku just lying there, not lying there, but sitting there on his bed, and he's basically explaining everything to us what's going on with the other two characters. We've got Aida because of the injuries to his arm. He's going home, and if I'm remembering correctly, he misses out the rest of his internship. And we've got Shoto who's saying because his injuries were very minor, he's got some stuff to learn, so he's going back to daddy to continue his internship. And now the next couple of episodes, if not the rest of the season, is anime only, aka filler. So if that is the case, but it's definitely for the ones that are going to be anime early. I don't think we're going to see much of Deku, and I think it's really going to focus on the other characters, which I essentially do think is a good thing. I'm going to give this episode a 3-star rating and call it a review. Like always, guys, I must for your thoughts and opinions. If you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.